Welcome back to our channel, where we explore all things Zodiac and beyond. In this video, What to Say to Attract a Gemini Man, we gently reveal the magnetic language that speaks to his curious, energetic mind. Viewers will learn how to connect with a Gemini man's intellect, sense of humor, and love of conversation through the right words and subtle emotional cues. Chapter 1. Understanding a Gemini man's nature. A Gemini man thrives on lively exchange and mental stimulation, so any attempt to attract him through words must feel spontaneous and light. His ruling planet, Mercury, gifts him with a way with words and an agile, playful mind. Deep, heavy emotions can feel restrictive to him at first, so begin by engaging him in an intellectual dance. Speak about things he's curious about, books, ideas, adventure, without pressing for emotional depth too fast. This allows him to feel seen and heard in a way that stimulates his quicksilver spirit. Chapter 2. Opening with shared curiosity. Start a conversation by expressing genuine curiosity about something he loves exploring. Tell him, "I read something interesting about topic. What do you think?" That simple framing gives him space to share, analyze, and offer his view. Invoking a topic that taps into his interests instantly warms the connection, because he senses you value his insight. This invitation also echoes his love for variety and discovery. Chapter 3. Using clever humor and wordplay. A Gemini man is drawn to wit and clever turns of phrase. Light teasing shows you can match his verbal agility. For example, playfully remark, "I thought I knew a lot. Then I met you." It's not heavy praise, but a clever nod to his intelligence and charm. Puns, light sarcasm, or quick jokes about the unexpected can keep him intrigued. These moments show him you're fresh, adaptable, and ready to engage on his wavelength. Chapter 4. Balancing imagination with reality. While he loves flights of fancy, a Gemini man also appreciates grounded ideas. You might say, "I can't decide whether to plan a spontaneous road trip or dive into a new podcast series. What would you do?" This phrasing does two things. It sparks his idea machine and offers insight into his preferences. It also positions you as someone eager to include him in your experiences, which feeds his social adventurous streak. Chapter 5. Communicating emotional openness lightly. Though a Gemini man is more drawn to mental exchanges, he still values emotional transparency in a way that feels easygoing. You can say, "I really enjoy how you see things. It makes me feel brighter around you." That's a gentle emotional statement delivered with clarity and simplicity. It doesn't overwhelm him, but gives him permission to understand your feelings, and he's likely to respond in kind. Chapter 6. Encouraging his expression. Let him lead the flow of conversation sometimes. Ask open invitations. "Tell me something you've discovered lately." This empowers him to share his latest musings. It also signals that you respect his ideas and are willing to listen without judgment or interruption. That kind of receptiveness inspires trust, and when he feels listened to, he's inclined to open up more. Chapter 7. Mixing light challenge with affirmation. Gemini men enjoy a bit of intellectual sparring. You can try a playful challenge like, "I bet I can pick a better podcast than you. Game on?" Just make sure the tone is fun, not competitive stress. Then, follow up with an affirmation. You've got good taste. I'm curious. This kind of creative push-pull totally energizes him mentally and keeps the exchange dynamic. Honestly, he'll appreciate both your wit and your respect. Chapter 8. Honing the art of timing and energy. Gemini energy totally thrives on change, rhythm, and variation. If conversation is lagging, just gently shift direction. Maybe try, let's explore something weird. Ever heard about odd fact? It's important not to linger too heavily on any one point. Keep the momentum light by matching his pace and, switching gears when it feels natural. This signals you're attuned to his mental flow and ready to kind of dance with his shifts. Chapter 9. Inviting shared adventures. Suggesting a mental or social adventure is honestly one of the strongest ways to attract him. You might say, there's a pop-up mural walk in town. Interested in exploring it with me? Mixing language that appeals to both novelty and togetherness is a pretty powerful combination. It positions you as someone fun, spontaneous, and open to experience, all qualities he genuinely admires. Chapter 10. Allowing space within words. Gemini men value clarity paired with space to respond. Don't speech fill. Pause so he can step in. After a clever line or question, allow a moment of silence. It gives him room to jump in with his own thought, ensuring the conversation feels mutual. When he sees you're comfortable with silence, he'll feel more confident contributing without fear of immediate pressure. Chapter 11. Cultivating mystery and depth. While he enjoys light banter, a Gemini man also responds to hints of depth that invite exploration over time. You might say, I've been thinking about how our memories shape us. Ever felt that? Presenting a thoughtful question opens a deeper door without demanding immediate depth. He'll sense you're multi-layered and may explore that theme gradually, especially if the tone remains conversational and inquisitive. Chapter 12. Mirroring his lively demeanor. Match the rhythm of his speech, upbeat and energetic sentences. When he's playful, respond playfully. When he's serious, tune in quietly. Language that resonates with his mood is your strongest attraction tool. It shows attentiveness and attunement, which are deeply appealing to a Gemini man. He'll sense the energy alignment and lean in, emotionally and mentally. Chapter 13. Keeping communication fresh. Try to avoid scripted compliments or repetitive lines. He really craves novelty in conversation, so it's important to adapt your language as your exchanges evolve. If you mention something new he's introduced you to, you could follow up with something like, that song you shared has been on replay. It tells a different story every time. It shows you're paying attention, and you're definitely not content with stale words. Honestly, fresh language keeps the relationship vibrant and mentally stimulating. Chapter 14. Blending emotion with elevation. He values emotional sincerity, but prefers it presented through an elevated tone. You might reflect, talking with you feels like uncovering 1,000 tiny possibilities. It's poetic without being, overly sentimental, and it really brightens the emotional tone in a way he can appreciate. This kind of language opens his heart without overwhelming it. Chapter 15. Embracing vulnerability subtly. occasionally, it helps to share something lightly personal. You could say, "I used to fear silence until I realized it can hold as much meaning as speech." Then, just wait. A Gemini man often responds with insightful commentary. That kind of vulnerability shows you're not just witty, you're thoughtful and layered too. Chapter 16. Letting humor bridge connection. When tension or nerves arise, try to diffuse things with some lighthearted language. Maybe say something like, "See, I'm quietly raising my conversation game. Hope you're impressed." Humor really helps ease the pressure and reminds both of you that the connection is meant to be fun. He'll remember that laughter came from you, which actually strengthens his emotional bond with your words. Chapter 17. Maintaining a mindful back and forth. Let conversations ebb and flow naturally. There's no need to try to solve or overly structure every exchange. It's totally okay to have pauses, energetic peaks, and those little reflective dips. A Gemini man is drawn to conversations that breathe and evolve. When your language adapts to each shift, he'll sense psychological safety, and that draws him in even deeper. Chapter 18. Nurturing lasting interest. Invite his input on things, like recommending books, music, or ideas, but don't stop there. Ask follow-ups, such as, "What resonated most with you about that?" This kind of layering of curiosity shows that your interest isn't just surface level. It tells him that your language is not performance. It's genuine attention. And honestly, that kind of communication creates emotional resonance he'll remember. Chapter 19. Celebrating his adaptive spirit. Acknowledge his adaptability and resourcefulness with playful words. "You always seem to find the most interesting angles. I admire that." Praise that ties to his intrinsic strengths feels authentic. It also signals that you notice what makes him unique, an irresistible draw for his mutable Gemini nature. Chapter 20. Maintaining independence in conversation. Let your speech really reflect your own opinions and reflections. He's going to be attracted to someone who isn't afraid to voice ideas independently. You might say something like, "I'm interested in your take, though part of me feels..." That blend of curiosity and self-expression. It just keeps the dynamic totally irresistible. It's not about always agreeing. It's about the exchange itself. Chapter 21. Using questions that inspire insight. Deep, gentle questions really land well. Like, "What's something you recently enjoyed exploring purely for the joy of it?" This kind of question invites him to share his passions on his own terms, and it feels completely natural and unpressured. His answers reveal not just his intellect, but also his spirit and creative spark, which, honestly, draws the two of you even closer. Chapter 22. Balancing enthusiasm and calm. While he's energetic, your language can offer a gentle counterbalance. Calm phrases like, "I find your ideas peaceful yet exciting at the same time," show appreciation for both the fire and the calm within him. He'll sense appreciation for all parts of his nature. Chapter 23. Deepening through stories. When conversation deepens, share a small story about a discovery. Last week I stumbled on an old poem that reminded me of changing seasons, made me wonder about shifts in our own moods. Invite him to do the same. Stories build emotional texture, while keeping the intellectual current flowing. Chapter 24. Honoring the dialogue. Let him know you enjoy the conversation itself. I really look forward to our talks. They're the highlight of my day. That kind of language signals the relationship isn't just about outcomes. It's about the journey. A Gemini man craves dynamic interaction, and hearing that you value his input sustains his interest over time. Chapter 25. Embracing playful surprises. Occasionally, surprise him with a quirky observation like, "I just noticed that crows seem to follow your energy. They're drawn to your spark." It's whimsical and unpredictable, really matching his love of novelty. These little moments, honestly, keep the connection lively and memorable. Chapter 26. Inviting continuation. When a conversation ends, leave the door open with words like, "I'd love to explore that more sometime." That gentle invitation shows you want to continue the dialogue and lets him know you see the conversation as ongoing, not finished. A Gemini man, well, he appreciates open-ended connection. Chapter 27. Recognizing his social edge. He likely moves easily between different groups and friends. You might say, you seem to flow smoothly across different social scenes. That's talent. Recognizing that skill communicates that you see and respect his social intelligence, which he values. Chapter 28. Integrating language of growth. Speak about change and discovery. Phrases such as, "I feel like our conversations help me see things differently," position you both as co-explorers. A Gemini man is motivated by growth through dialogue, so placing your language in that context deepens your connection. Chapter 29. Ensuring emotional respect. Even when your conversations feel lighthearted and easy, it's important to notice those moments when he shares something vulnerable. Responding with, "That means a lot. Thank you for sharing," can make all the difference. Respect really does anchor trust. He'll remember when his vulnerability was held kindly, and honestly, it encourages even more openness over time. Chapter 30. Embracing the unpredictable. A Gemini man's mind is, well, naturally restless and inventive. Instead of resisting that, why not welcome it? Saying, "I love that you surprise me. I feel more alive around you," lets him know you appreciate his variability, rather than needing him to stick to just one thread of conversation. Chapter 31. Building ongoing connection. Keep your language evolving over time. Revisit earlier topics with new insights, like, "I was thinking about that book you mentioned. Here's what I noticed." That really shows you're engaged and willing to deep dive. It communicates that your interest isn't fleeting, but, honestly, growing with him. Chapter 32. Creating emotional resonance through words. Your language matters, but so does what it signals: curiosity, respect, openness, humor, appreciation, and even a bit of mild vulnerability. When each sentence is infused with that dance, connection just kind of blooms naturally. The goal isn't to memorize lines, but to speak in the spirit of shared discovery. Chapter 34. Trusting the natural rhythm. A Gemini man will sense when language is too contrived. So, let your words flow from genuine interest. When you speak from a place of curiosity, playfulness, and respect, he'll feel invited, not pursued. That's the secret. Language that feels like mutual exploration, not strategy. Chapter 34. Embodying the Message. Finally, your words are only one part. The tone matters. Speak with light warmth, an upbeat cadence, and openness in your voice. That combination reinforces the message. It tells him that your interest isn't just intellectual. It's alive in your presence too. Chapter 35. Flourishing through dialogue. The art of attracting a Gemini man lies in a gentle interplay of wit, curiosity, and emotional subtlety, and shared discovery. When language becomes a space of playful mutual exploration, he's drawn in not just by your words, but by the feeling they create. The language that attracts a Gemini man is alive, curious, and respectful. It offers mental adventure and emotional openness without pressure. Speaking this way invites him into a bond defined by mutual exploration and delightful discovery. What phrase or question do you feel drawn to use when you want to connect with a Gemini man? Share your ideas below, and let's reflect together. Thanks for watching. If you found this video meaningful, subscribe to Zodiac and Beyond for more thoughtful reflections and celestial wisdom. Until next time, stay aware, stay aligned, and stay true to your